Alaves 1, Barcelona 0. Let's talk about it. The game today, its importance was we're really only playing for potentially reaching 100 points in La Liga, which we will no longer be able to achieve since we ended up losing this game. But I was happy with our lineup. Actually, we ended up playing. Let me go to lineup. We ended up playing a lot of we had a heavily rotated squad, playing a lot of young guys. Today was the debut of this guy right here, Cortez, Alvaro Cortez, who had a pretty good game. Top to bottom, we had Chesney in goal with Balde, Cortez, Kubasi, Kunde, which was back into the squad. Midfield was Marc Casado and Bernal with Olmo, and Brett Rashford on the left, back on the left with Rooney and Lewandowski. Some of our better performers was actually Cortez. He had a really good game. I also think that Olmo had a really good game, and Bernal as well. I think those are our three best players for that game, based on what I saw today. We also had Xavi Espot coming in later in the 60th minute, and Thomas Marquez. But in the first half, it was a very, I'd say, from our point of view, a very lackluster game. Looking at the stats, we had it was pretty much a game where we had a lot of possession, and obviously Alaves did not 23% possession over the whole game, but we had a lot of possession, but we couldn't really create any like clear-cut chances. Even right here, looking at our expected goal, it was .59. Although we had 8 shots, but none on target. We really couldn't create any clear-cut chances. I think in the first half we had our chances consisted of Rashford a volley from a volley twice. The first one, Kunde crossed it. He kind of hit it into the ground and outside of the goal. And the second one from a corner by Rooney Badaji, which his shot was blocked. And I'm trying to think. Casado also made a pretty good run and almost tried to get him the ball, and his shot was also blocked. Whereas Alaves, although they did not have a lot of the ball, their attacks were more convincing. They had more, like, I wouldn't say completely clear-cut chances, but more chances that you could say should probably most likely end up in the back of the goal. That was pretty much the story of the first half. We didn't have a lot of clear-cut chances. And then at the end, they had more. I remember a shot by, what's his name? Player on their team. Where is he? This guy right here ended up playing man of the match. He ended up having a pretty good shot on target in the first half. And on the end of the first half, we had a corner, and I think it was definitely more Bernal guarding Diabate, who ended up scoring from the corner, went in, headed out, and Alaves player headed back in, and Diabate got it on the end of it with a volley, pretty nice goal. But and then second half was pretty much the start of the second half was pretty much the same. Diabate, the same guy, ended up getting a free header in the box. Chesney ended up saving it, and we ended up getting. It was pretty much the same thing. We just could not find we couldn't create any clear-cut chances. Whereas Alaves were threatening pretty threatening in the counter. We ended up getting some subs in around the 60th minute. We got Pedri in, who kind of changed the game in my opinion. We had Rooney Badaji, who was pretty. He didn't have a terrible game, but he was kind of lackluster on that right hand side. I think he definitely needed to. It might be since he has not been playing that regularly throughout the season, but he kind of needs to step it up. I think that Ferran came in for him with Xavi Espot for Kubasi. I think that he definitely needs to step up his game so he could potentially get more game next year. I don't really want him to go on loan, which is the rumor going around, him either going on loan or selling him. But I think he's definitely a player with a lot of potential. In the second half, after around the 70th minute, we kind of pinned them in their half of the field for a good 5-6 minutes. Try to create some more chances. Nothing really happened. I think our best chance in the second half was probably a Juan Cancelo, who came on, faked the cross with his left, chopped back in with his right, made a nice loop cross to Rashford, which was would have been a perfect cross, nice goal, but the pass was just a little overhit. Rashford couldn't really get his head on it, but that's pretty much a whole attack today. We were really intense. I think it was just our sharpness lacking. We couldn't really get any good opportunity on goal today, and Alaves definitely benefited from that today. Looking at the players and player who definitely performed today, I think that Chesney played a decent game today. With Balde also was decent. I think Cortez was definitely one of the better Barcelona players today. With Kubasi, who also played a decent game. Koundé, nice to see him back on the right. He played a decent game, although most of the attacks in the first half came from his side, but did not play a terrible game. I think Marc Bernal also one of the better Barcelona players today. Casado played a pretty good game. He's one of my favorite players on this team. Also another player, rumors about Barcelona potentially selling him. I'd like him to stay, just at the very least for a debt. I think he's a decent player, can definitely get some going. I think Olmo played a really good game, especially in the first half. Rooney Bardghji, like I was saying, he had a pretty lackluster game. I wish he could have played more, but the whole team kind of played lackluster today, including Lewandowski, who didn't really do too much today. Rashford I'd say probably tried more today. He had a weird shot where, let me see, I think this one. All right. Yeah, he had a weird shot which kind of looked like a cross, but if it went, it would have been a beautiful shot, beautiful goal. But we really couldn't get anything clear cut today. Everything was off target. Whereas this is the shot I was talking about. Yeah, it's an ugly shot on target. They had a couple. This was the header in the second half by the Alaves, and obviously the goal. But although we considered, I don't think our defense was pretty bad today. I think this new kid Cortez should definitely get more playing time, maybe to the end of the season. Probably play him the next two games. That was his debut, like I said. It's really interesting to think about that. That was his first Barcelona game. He's a youngster, and Kubasi was a pretty established player now, and Kubasi's 2 years younger than him. So that's kind of funny. But that was it for today. I'd say pretty lackluster game, but can't really be too mad since we already won La Liga. We're really only playing for potentially reaching the 100 points mark. Got to see some new players today. Next two games are at home against Betis and away at Valencia, if I'm not mistaken. I'd really like. We still got something to play for. We have our home record to play for. We have not lost any game at home this season, so I really like us to keep that going. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Betis qualified for Champions League for next season, so that's something nice. But yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.